Chris Carson. Nice to see everybody here. Sherry asked me to come on and just talk for a minute about, the course and why we created it and what my goals were. I've been in this business a long time. I've mentored a lot of people in my career, and I've seen a constant problem in the industry. And that problem is a failure to recognize that no matter what we do, we're involved in a forensic analysis. It's part of everything. We can't really do a schedule review without getting involved in the forensic side. And I think people don't seem to realize that. And it's interesting because a lot of people reach out and tell me, oh, I really like forensic analysis and I'd like to do it, but I don't have any experience. And then when I sit down and talk to them, my question will be, do you review schedules? Yeah, we do. Do the schedules ever come in with a delay that's already been absorbed? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, are there delays that are in there's an actual start and an actual finish, left side of the data date? Is there a delay? And they'll say yes. And I said, well, if you analyze that, you're doing it you have to do it with a forensic analysis. And then often they'll go, well, nobody likes my analysis. And I said, well, probably because you're not doing a forensic analysis. The point there is when you forecast a future impact event that you think is going to be a delay, you're going to estimate that because that's perspective. It hasn't happened. We don't know the real effect of it. So you estimate that and then you negotiate it, and that's reasonable. We want that to happen because it allows us to put the risk for performance back in the hands of the contractor. But once that delays become absorbed, then it's not an estimate anymore. And that's sort of the source of the problem. And if you're using perspective estimating techniques to analyze a delay that's been absorbed, then the owner's never going to buy it. You can never sell that. And so what I tell people is you have to become an expert in forensic analysis if you're going to do your job as a good scheduler. And that's what this course is designed to do. The goal was to get people up to speed so that you can use these techniques because they're different techniques for different conditions, and every project has different conditions. So the goal was to say, no matter what problem you have, once that delays become absorbed, there's a solution for you. The recommended practice, from AACE was totally devoted to identifying that, to say that there are solutions for every condition. They're different. They're not always the same. They're different, but here's some good ways to do them. And so this course, mirrors that. And I happen to think that's the best document out there for explaining the world of forensic analysis. And so this course is designed to do that. And I think it's the only thing that I've seen in the industry that gives the entire body of knowledge of forensic analysis. And it takes you from the very beginning on what it takes to do one, all the way through to how you do it and the way you do it. And so I'm excited about this. Sherway asked me to come up with more case studies. I kind of looked at that in the beginning and thought, well, it's a whole lot of work. And it has been. But I think when we get done with this, we actually have a good explanation of how you actually implement each of the methods. And so the course teaches you, the basis, what the methods are, when you need to use them, and then now the course will show you in detail how do you implement each of the methods. The courses, I think, should be required learning for anybody that's trying to do any scheduling related task, because it really covers half of what you do as a scheduler. And interestingly enough, in the forums, Sheray's done a good job of showing how much we've answered, how many questions I've answered and how big that book becomes. But what I find is that an awful lot of those questions are not just forensic related. They are planning and scheduling. They are, how do we deal with that? And how do we make sure that works? And one last point relate to the problems that we run into from trying to estimate a predicted delay and what happens as it slowly becomes absorbed, which is the most common situation. It happens on every single project. And there's never been a solution to that. And what we've tried to do is craft that solution, and it requires you to understand the forensic side. And so I think that's what this course will do. And I'm excited with the revisions. I put a lot of time into rebuilding the course to make it more clear, cover more conditions. And Showray's team has done a great job of updating it all. And so I just think it's a different course. and it'll be well worth taking it. So I encourage you to take the course. I look forward to answering your questions when you get into it. So thank you.